Trauma bonding. Why leaving feels impossible. There is a question survivors ask over and over. Why do I miss someone who hurt me? Why do I still feel pulled toward them? Why do I crave the very person who broke me? And the shame that follows those questions is heavy. Because people think love should make sense. People think if someone hurts you, you should just stop loving them, walk away, be done. But trauma bonding does not work like that. Trauma bonding is not weakness. It is not stupidity. It is not a lack of self-respect. It is a biological survival response. And once you understand that, everything changes. What a trauma bond actually is. A trauma bond forms when love and pain become tangled together, when comfort and fear exist in the same place, when the person who soothes you is also the person who destroys you. It usually forms through cycles: affection, cruelty, apology, hope, tension, explosion, relief, repeat. Your nervous system learns that love comes with danger, that safety is temporary, that closeness is followed by harm. Over time, your body stops seeking peace. It starts seeking familiar chaos. That is the bond, not love, not attachment, a conditioning of the nervous system. Why it feels addictive. Trauma bonding works on the same chemical system as addiction. When the abuse happens, your body floods with stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. You feel terrified, on edge, hyper alert, small, unsafe. Then when the abuser switches back to being kind, apologetic, loving, remorseful, protective, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. Relief feels like love. The calm feels like connection. The contrast is intoxicating. Your body learns that the only way to feel better is through the same person who caused the pain. That is not romance. That is a trauma loop. What a trauma bond feels like in real life. Trauma bonding does not usually feel dramatic from the inside. It feels confusing. It feels quiet. It feels like two truths fighting inside your chest at the same time. It feels like knowing someone is hurting you but missing them the second they leave. It feels like being terrified of their anger but craving their affection even more. It feels like checking your phone over and over, even when you promised yourself you would not. It feels like sleeping better when they are beside you, even though they are the reason you cannot breathe during the day. It feels like saying, "I am done," and then feeling sick with panic when they actually disappear. It feels like remembering all the insults, all the fear, all the tears, and still wanting their arms around you when you are hurting. It feels like relief when they apologize, even when you know the apology will not last. It feels like your chest loosens when they are kind again, like you can finally breathe, like the danger is over, for now. It feels like blaming yourself for everything because it gives you the illusion of control. If it is your fault, then maybe you can fix it. It feels like shrinking yourself so the house stays calm. It feels like guarding their image to the world while breaking apart in private. It feels like hoping every good moment means this time will be different. It feels like promising yourself just one more chance. It feels like leaving and feeling empty instead of free. It feels like sitting in silence and suddenly wanting to go back just to stop the shaking inside your body. It feels like telling yourself it was not that bad, even when part of you knows it was. It feels like loving someone you are also afraid of. That is the trauma bond. Not because you are weak, but because your nervous system learned that comfort and danger live in the same place. Why warning signs get ignored? People like to ask, why didn't you leave at the first red flag? Because abuse almost never starts with cruelty. It starts with charm, with intensity, with closeness, with feeling chosen, with fast bonding, with deep emotional connection. You do not meet a monster. You meet a human who feels like home. And once the bond is formed, your standards shift. Your boundaries erode slowly. Your tolerance for pain increases step by step. What would have horrified you at the beginning becomes normal over time. Why you defend the person who hurts you. This is one of the most misunderstood parts. Trauma-bonded people often protect their abuser. They make excuses. They minimize harm. They explain it away. They blame themselves. Not because they are blind, but because their nervous system believes survival depends on that person. Your brain starts thinking, if I make them happy, I will be safe. If I stay small, I will be okay. If I try harder, they will change. Hope becomes a survival strategy. Why leaving feels like withdrawal. Leaving a trauma bond feels like dying, not emotionally, physically. Your body reacts with panic, nausea, shaking, insomnia. obsessive thoughts, chest pain, shortness of breath, desperation, intrusive memories, cravings to go back. This is not just heartbreak, this is withdrawal. Your body is detoxing from a chemical storm it got used to living in. That is why people go back even when they know better. Not because they want the abuse, because their nervous system is screaming for relief. Why logic does not break a trauma bond. People will try to talk sense into you. Why don't you just leave? Why do you go back? Why do you still care? Logic does not undo conditioning. Your brain can understand danger while your body still craves the bond. You can know the truth and still miss them. That does not mean you are broken. It means your nervous system learned survival in chaos. Why childhood trauma makes it stronger. If you grew up in emotional neglect, if you grew up in abuse, if you grew up walking on eggshells, if love always felt unstable, then trauma bonding will feel familiar. You may confuse intensity with love, control with protection, fear with connection. Your body recognizes the pattern even if your mind does not like it. That is not a failure. That is conditioning. What actually breaks a trauma bond? Time alone does not fix it. Blocking the person does not fix it. White-knuckling through it does not fix it. What breaks trauma bonding is nervous system healing. Learning what real safety feels like. Learning what calm feels like. Learning that love does not come with fear. Learning that peace is not boring. Learning that stability is not emptiness. The bond loosens as your body relearns safety. If you are in a trauma bond right now, let me say this gently. If you feel stuck, if you feel ashamed, if you feel confused, if you feel weak, if you feel addicted, if you feel torn apart, you are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not choosing pain because you like it. Your nervous system learned survival through attachment, and that can be unlearned. Slowly, gently, safely. Final truth. Missing someone who abused you does not mean the abuse was not real. Wanting to go back does not mean you deserve what happened. Loving someone who hurts you does not make you weak. It makes you human. And healing does not happen by shaming yourself out of the bond. It happens when your body finally believes you are safe without them.